The July New World Developer Update is here, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. I don't think it's all that interesting. Well, it might be interesting to those of you who are interested, but for me, there's probably a lot of information here that the majority of people probably don't really care about. But for me, they mentioned some important things regarding the equipment loadout, so light and heavy, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So yeah, a lot of this update is just talking about like the design philosophy, how they came about like the summer event and that kind of stuff. There's not really much to take away, honestly, on a personal like in-game level. But if you are interested in that kind of level of detail, it's nice that they do this, and I enjoyed watching it to some extent. But if you're watching it for like insights to the future, that's not what this update is going to do. But they did talk very briefly at the end regarding some balance, and one of the balance changes they spoke about, I think these are already on the PTR in regards to the weapon balances. So they talk about the bow, sword and shield, and the hatchet. So the bow, they say that they overtuned it and they're aware that it's pretty damn powerful in Outpost Rush. They do say it's actually not that strong in Arena. Apparently it's the third worst weapon in Arena, and they also say how it's not that great in PvE, but they're making some tweaks on the PTR, of course. I haven't personally tried that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you have. They spoke about how the sword and shield was a little bit overpowering when it came to stun, so they're turning that down. And they said that the throw tree, I think they mentioned on the hatchet, is being completely reworked. That's on the PTR. Some of you will have already checked that out, I'm sure. But the interesting thing to me was that they spoke about the equipment loadout, specifically light and heavy. So they said light is pretty damn popular right now, and pretty much everybody's playing light. That definitely correlates to what we see in Outpost Rush and stuff like that. And they said heavy was having a bit of difficulties. Now, they did actually mention how heavy is okay in PvE. They think that the damage that you take is like fine in PvE, and I sort of agree. Whenever I do a mutated dungeon, I'm probably likely to just do it in heavy because I like being that beefy, tanky boy who's not necessarily the tank, but I'm also not really going to die unless I completely mess up, right? That's actually a good position for me. But in sort of PvP outside of wars, heavy just seems really weak. And they address that. They know that's the case. They say they've not made it in time for this PTR, obviously, but they're hoping for it to be in the next PTR. And they said they're looking at some changes that might be quite drastic, and they're playtesting them right now. Now, I don't know what that could mean. There's all different kinds of things there. Whether or not you like it or not, quite frankly, light boys just dodging around everywhere is pretty frustrating for anybody who's not a light boy dodging around everywhere. I was playing heavy armor. I've switched to light, and you know what? I actually have fun in light because everybody else is playing the same kind of thing. It's less easy to escape me, and they sort of need to change that for the health of the game, and it looks like they're actually going to maybe address it. Obviously no details of what they're going for, but it's nice to know it's on their radar at least. I'm a little bit confused why maybe they didn't just tweak the damaging. Maybe they could have made it so that heavy armor just absorbed more damage just temporarily whilst they were waiting for the big sort of gameplay change, but that's okay, I'll take it if at least they know about it. And then yeah, as I said, a lot of the other information was just about the events. They spoke about how they were doing a fishing event on the PTR, which apparently I think is every Friday. No, the fishing event is on live, but they were doing like spawning in monsters every, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock on a specific day. I don't know, it wasn't really something I was paying too much attention to. They also spoke about how they designed the summer fair, the summer medley fair. We also got a little insight into the new expedition. The new expedition, by the way, they mentioned isn't really a continuation of the main story. It is sort of just like a side compact story, so don't be expecting massive story movement. Basically, I'm hoping when we do get proper story movement that we actually get proper story cutscenes as well. I'd quite like a cutscene to explain to me what's actually happened in the game, because I watched the one from Tempest to Heart and I was just confused what I was watching. It just was not something I could understand. I need something to sort of explain it to me first. Anyway, you can go watch it. It's like 40 odd minutes long. As I said, it's probably not that interesting to most of you unless you are interested in it, but then you might as well just go watch that video instead of this. Let me know your thoughts. If you want to support the channel, do consider becoming a YouTube member. It really would help. What I do hope though is that you have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.